I watched from my car as my daughter-in-law changed the locks on MY house, the house I bought with my late husband 30 years ago, the house where I raised my son. She didn't know I was there. She didn't know what I had in my purse. And she definitely didn't know that in exactly 7 days, she'd be the one packing her bags. My name is Margaret Chen. I am 62 years old, and this is how I took back everything they stole from me. Let me take you back 6 months. My son Daniel was my whole world. After my husband Robert died from cancer 3 years ago, Daniel became my rock. He'd visit every Sunday with his wife Jessica. We'd have dinner. We'd laugh. I thought we were close. I was wrong. See, I'd been living alone in our family home in Portland, a beautiful 4-bedroom craftsman that Robert and I scraped every penny together to buy in 1994. We planted the garden together. He built the deck with his own hands. Every corner of that house held a memory, but it was getting harder. The stairs hurt my knees. The yard work was too much. So when Daniel sat me down one evening in March and said, "Mom, Jessica and I have been talking. We're worried about you living alone. What if you fell? What if something happened?" I felt relieved. He suggested I move into their guest house out back. Just temporarily, he said, while they helped me get my affairs in order. They'd handle the maintenance on the big house. I could take my time deciding what to do next. It made sense. I wanted to be closer to them anyway. They were talking about starting a family, and God, I wanted to be there for my grandchildren. So I signed some papers. Daniel said it was just power of attorney stuff, so he could help with bills, handle repairs, that sort of thing. Jessica smiled so sweetly as she handed me the pen. "We just want to take care of you, Margaret," she said. I trusted them. He was my son. The first month was actually nice. Jessica would bring me tea in the mornings. We'd garden. Together, Daniel would fix little things around my new space. I started thinking maybe this arrangement could work long term. Then the cracks started showing. Jessica began making comments, little things at first. "You know, Margaret, you really shouldn't leave your lights on all day. It is wasteful. Do you really need to water the garden every morning? That is our water bill now. Maybe you could eat dinner a little earlier. We like to have the main house to ourselves in the evening." I bit my tongue. I told myself she was just adjusting. They were young, they'd learn. But then it got worse. I came back from my book club one Thursday afternoon in August and found Jessica in the main house, MY house, repainting the living room. The soft yellow Robert and I had chosen together was being covered with this cold, grey colour. "What are you doing?" I asked, my voice shaking. She barely looked at me. "With our updating things, Margaret. This yellow was so dated. Don't worry, you are welcome to visit once we're done renovating. Visit my own home. Jessica, I didn't approve this. This is still my..." She turned to me then, and I'll never forget the look in her eyes. Cold calculating. "Actually, Margaret, if you check the papers you signed, the house is in Daniel's name now. We're just making it more us. You understand." The room tilted. What papers? The power of attorney? She smiled. Not a kind smile, a victorious one. Among other things, Daniel handled all that legal stuff. "You really should read things before you sign them." "But hey, you've got the guest house!" "That's still yours. For now." For now. I stumbled back to the guest house and tore through my files. I found the papers. There were more than I remembered signing. And there, in legal language I didn't fully understand the first time, was a quitclaim deed. I had signed my house over to Daniel. I called him immediately. "Daniel, sweetheart, there's been some confusion. The papers I signed. Mum, we talked about this. You were getting overwhelmed. The house is in good hands. Jessica and I will take care of everything. But I didn't mean to give it away." I thought. "Mum," his voice changed, harder. "You are not getting any younger. This way, there is no estate issues later. It is already done. Just try to enjoy retirement, okay? Let us handle the adult stuff." He hung up. I sat in that guest house and cried for 3 hours. My son, my only child, the boy I'd sacrificed everything for, had tricked me. or Jessica had tricked him. I didn't know which was worse. I wanted to believe she'd manipulated him, but the way he spoke to me, the adult stuff, like I was a child. The next 2 weeks were hell. Jessica started making rules. I couldn't use the washer and dryer in the main house without asking first. I needed to schedule time to visit what used to be my own living room. She boxed up my photo albums and put them in the garage. When I protested, she said, "Margaret, youth are becoming difficult. We've been so generous letting you stay in the guest house rent-free. Don't make us regret our kindness." Then came September 15th, the day that changed everything. I came back from my doctor's appointment and found my things on the lawn. My clothes, my books, my mother's china, everything just dumped there like trash. Jessica was standing on MY porch with her arms crossed. "What is this?" I demanded. "We need the guest house." "Margaret, my sister is moving to Portland and needs a place to stay. You've had months to figure out your next step."
"This is illegal. You can't get just. Actually, we can."
"You for living on our property. We gave you 30 days notice. It is in the email Daniel sent you last month. Not our fault if you don't check your email." I never got any email. I checked later, it had gone to spam, conveniently. "Where am I supposed to go?" She shrugged. "There are some nice senior living facilities in the area. Fresh starts are good, right?" I looked past her into the house, my house. I could see Daniel in the kitchen, his back turned. He knew what was happening. He was letting it happen. "Daniel," I called out. "Daniel, please." He glanced back. For just a second, I saw my son, the little boy who used to crawl into my bed during thunderstorms. Then he looked away and kept chopping vegetables. Jessica started closing the door. Then, "You have until 6 p.m. to get your things off the lawn. After that, it is going to the dump." The door shut. I heard the lock click. I stood there 62 years old, looking at my entire life scattered across the grass. I am not proud of what came next. I sat in my car in a grocery store parking lot and called every friend I had, begging for a couch to sleep on. My friend Susan came through. She had a spare room and told me to take all the time I needed. That first night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about that house, about Robert building the deck, teaching Daniel to ride his bike in that driveway, hosting Thanksgiving dinners in that dining room. And they'd just taken it like I was nothing. Around 3 a.m., something shifted inside me. The grief hardened into something else. Something sharp. I wasn't going to roll over. I wasn't going to let them erase me. I pulled out my laptop and started searching. Can a quitclaim deed be reversed? What is elder financial abuse? Were real estate attorney Portland, Oregon. Or the internet, it turns out, is a beautiful thing at 3 a.m. when you are angry. By sunrise, I had 3 attorney consultations scheduled and a notebook full of research. The first attorney I met with was kind, but not encouraging. "Mrs. Chen, quitclaim deeds are legal documents. If you signed it, but I didn't understand what I was signing." My son told me it was just power of attorney. "Did he explicitly lie to you? Do you have proof he misrepresented the document?" I didn't. It had been verbal. Just conversations. With the second attorney was more interested. There might be an argument for undue influence, especially given your age and recent loss of your husband, but it is an uphill battle, and expensive. The third attorney, a sharp woman named Patricia Reeves, she leaned back in her chair and asked me one question. "Do you want to fight or do you want to win? What's the difference? Fighting is a legal battle that might take years and drain your savings. Winning is making them regret what they did and getting your house back. Sometimes that requires creativity." I liked Patricia. Over the next week, she helped me understand exactly what had happened. Daniel and Jessica had technically done everything legally, but there were cracks, opportunities. "Here is what we are going to do," Patricia said. "We're going to file a lawsuit alleging elder financial abuse and undue influence. It probably won't win outright, but it doesn't have to. It'll freeze any sale of the property and flag their credit. More importantly, it'll make noise." "What kind of noise?" She smiled. "The kind that makes mortgage companies nervous. The kind that gets social workers asking questions." The kind that makes your son realize his wife might have gotten him into serious legal trouble. But the lawsuit was just the opening move. Patricia introduced me to a private investigator named Marcus, former cop, now specialized in financial fraud. Give me 2 weeks. He said, I'll find out everything about Jessica. I paid him with money from a CD Robert had left me, money Jessica didn't know about. While Marcus worked, I did my own digging all. I created a fake Facebook profile and joined a few local women's groups Jessica was in. I watched, I listened, and oh, did Jessica like to talk? She posted photos of her beautiful new home renovation with the caption, finally got the house of my dreams in. Yes, my house, my dreams. But then I found something interesting. Jessica had posted in a private group about dealing with difficult family. And someone had commented, girl, same, my mail is such a nightmare. Thank God we finally got her out. Now we can flip this place and upgrade. Flip the place? They weren't keeping the house. They were planning to sell it. All that talk about taking care of me and keeping it in the family. Lies. They wanted the money. Marcus came back with his report 2 weeks later, and it was even better than I'd hoped. Jessica had credit card debt. A lot of it. Nearly 0,000 across multiple cards that Daniel apparently didn't know about. She'd been running a failed online boutique and had been hiding the losses. But here is the best part, Jessica had lied on some of those credit applications. She'd listed the house, MY House, as her primary residence and asset when applying for new cards. The same house that was now tied up in my lawsuit, which meant those applications contained fraudulent information. This is leverage, Patricia said. Criminal fraud if pursued. At minimum, her creditors would be very interested to know. But we still needed more. We needed Daniel. Because here's what I realized: Daniel wasn't evil. He was weak. He'd let Jessica manipulate him, convinced him I was a burden, that this was all for the best. I needed him to see who she really was, so I did something risky, I sent him a letter, not email, a handwritten letter to his office. I didn't accuse. I did a guilt trip. I just wrote, Daniel, I love you. I always will. I don't know if Jessica showed you this, but I am filing a lawsuit. Not to hurt you, to protect what your father and I built before any lawyers talk to you. I want you to ask Jessica one question. What was she planning to do with the house? Ask her about the debt. Ask her if she was honest with you about everything. Then decide if the person you married is who you thought she was. You will always be my son. Love, Mom. I mailed it and... Mum. His voice was wrecked. Mum, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. I stayed quiet, let him talk. I confronted Jessica about the debt. She denied it at first, but I pushed. I checked her email while she was in the shower. Mom, she was planning to sell the house the whole time. She had emails with real estate agents talking about listing prices. She told them we'd clear 100,000 after the mortgage was paid off. There is no mortgage, Daniel. Your father and I paid it off in 2015. Silence. So she would have cleared all of it.
Oh.
Yes. And she told me, she said you wanted to sell it, that you talked about downsizing and that this was just making it easier for you. She said the lawsuit was you being confused, maybe early dementia. Dementia, as she'd told my son I had dementia. Daniel, I am filing this lawsuit because your wife committed elder financial abuse. She manipulated both of us. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Another long silence. Tell me how to fix this. Music to my ears. Over the next week, Daniel and I worked together with Patricia. Here is what we learned. Because Daniel was still legally married to Jessica, he had just as much claim to their property as she did. And because I'd filed the lawsuit, the house couldn't be sold or refinanced without court approval. We were going to trap her. Patricia drew up a settlement offer. I would drop the lawsuit on one condition. The house would be transferred back to me, and Jessica would sign a confession of the undue influence in writing. If she refused, we'd proceed with the lawsuit and Daniel would file for divorce, which would trigger a complete financial discovery process. Every debt, every lie would come out in court. Oh, she'll never agree to this, I said. Patricia smiled. She will. because Marcus found one more thing. She slid a folder across the table. Jessica had been having an emotional affair, maybe physical, we couldn't confirm, with a guy from her gym. Lots of deleted texts Marcus had recovered, meeting for coffee, complaints about her marriage. Nothing definitively provable as adultery in Oregon's no-fault divorce state, but enough to humiliate her. If she fights us, Patricia said, all of this becomes public record in the lawsuit. Her debt, her fraud, her affair, everything. Or she can sign the paper, walk away, and we keep it quiet. Daniel looked sick. She cheated too. I am sorry, sweetheart, I said, and I meant it. Had been manipulated, used. We scheduled a meeting at Patricia's office. Me, Daniel, Patricia, Jessica, and her attorney. Jessica walked in looking confident. She thought this was a negotiation. She thought she still had power. Patricia laid out the settlement terms. I watched Jessica's face cycle through confusion, anger, and finally fear as she realized how trapped she was. This is blackmail, she hissed. No, Patricia said calmly. Blackmail is illegal. This is a settlement negotiation. You're free to decline. Of course, then we proceed to court, and I'll be calling all your creditors as witnesses, along with your friend, what is his name? Tyler from Peak Fitness. Jessica went pale. Her attorney leaned over and whispered to her for a long time. Finally, Jessica looked at me. Really looked at me. I saw her trying to find an angle. Way to manipulate this. I smiled. Not warm, not forgiving. The smile of someone who'd already won. You have 24 hours, Patricia said. After that, the offer expires and we file additional motions. Jessica signed the next morning. The house was transferred back to me. She signed a statement admitting she'd misrepresented the situation, and as part of the settlement, she agreed to move out within 72 hours. Daniel filed for divorce the same day. That was 4 months ago. Today, the house is mine again, illegally, completely, undeniably mine. I repainted the living room, where the yellow is back. Daniel and I are rebuilding our relationship, but it's not perfect. There is hurt that'll take time to heal, but we are having dinner every Sunday again. He's in therapy, working through how he let himself be manipulated. As for Jessica, last I heard she moved back in with her parents in California. The divorce was finalized last month. She got nothing from Daniel except her debt. I won't lie and say I don't think about revenge sometimes, but about posting everything online, about making sure everyone knows what she did. But here is what I learned. The best revenge isn't destruction, it is reclamation. I didn't just get my house back, well, I got my power back, and my dignity, my sense of self. Where Jessica wanted to erase me, to turn me into a cautious tale, and about a confused old woman who signed the wrong papers. Where instead, she became the cautionary tale. Oh, about what happens when you mistake someone's kindness for weakness. When you think you can take everything from someone just because you are younger or more cunning. Though I am 62 years old, though I am not done yet, not by a long shot. Though this house, though it is staying in my name, and when I die, hopefully many, many years from now, it'll go to Daniel. Well, because he earned his way back into my will. But I made one change to my estate plan. But there's a clause now that says if anyone contests the will or tries to manipulate my decisions in my final years, they get $1, and the rest goes to charity. Lou, I call it the Jessica Clause, and my attorney thought it was hilarious. Section 05 pef.raffaello. So if you are watching this and you've been betrayed by family, let me tell you something, or you not powerless, you're not too old, too tired, or too trusting to fight back. Document everything. Get good lawyers. Don't let shame keep you quiet. And remember, they could counting on you to just accept it, to roll over, to disappear. I'm Margaret Chen. I survived losing my husband. I fought cancer alongside him for 3 years. I raised a good man despite one very bad influence. I took back my house from someone who thought I was too weak to fight. If I can do it, so can you. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear that it is never too late to stand up for yourself. Drop a comment telling me Have you ever had to fight back against family betrayal? Oh, I rate every single one. Thank you for watching. Remember you, 'cause stronger than they think